Oh, Buddy the dog. What is with this weather? It rained another 2 inches. I dumped out of the gauge. Yeah. And he's happier about it than I am. I mean, and now the wind's blowing again. The bovines are all laying down. They know something bad's coming. I just don't know, friends. But that ground is all ready for, you know, fertilizer / planting. So we just gotta let it dry now again. But we are going to quickly work on something else. I don't have the parts yet. I just went ahead and ordered, but I will explain as we get there. And we're gonna get started on that right after this. All right, welcome back. If you haven't seen my videos before, I'm Ross the Oliver Man. This sad sack is the 5100 soybean splitter planter mounted on a 6600 white frame, double bar planter frame. Works great until it doesn't, you know. And last year we worked flawlessly. It did the job. And then this winter when I went to move it one time, sadness happened and the end of the cylinder broke off here for no reason. So we replaced the cylinder and that was fine. But I noticed that we have an issue. We have an issue right here. Can you see that? This no line up no more. And that is not good. You see, this is supposed to be on this flat edge here, and that's how they separate. So at first, I was wondering if perhaps when that cylinder messed up, if that somehow got bent. And the more I think about that, I just don't think that that makes much sense, because the geometry of this would never change. Like, it would always be, no matter if this wheel is up or down, the geometry of this doesn't change. I don't think that that could happen. But what I do think happened is that this part of the sprocket is wore out now to the point of no return. You may or may not recall, because I don't know if I had it on video, but I actually had to replace this half of the thrower. It didn't work. The other one was totally wore out. And at the time, the only thing that looked like it was bad was that piece. So I got a different one. Consequently, when it got to my house, all I had was an empty manila envelope where it had fallen out of the envelope, and the UPS people had delivered it thinking nothing was wrong, but there was no part inside. So I had to call Agco and then send them pictures of this, and then they sent me another one free, you know, because I already paid for one and didn't get it. So that was fine and dandy. And everything was going great, but now I think it's not. So what I did the other day, because I don't have time to fool with this or worry about it or whatever, I just ordered everything. I ordered all new pieces, and we're going to put that back together, and then all this stuff is going to be spare pieces for in case we need extra clutch pieces, because I don't have any extras. And now I'm on the second planter, actually third planter. I have 3 of them now. So it's potential that I would need clutch pieces in the future, so there we have it, you know. So that's what I'm going to tackle here right now, is trying to take this apart, pulling this piece of shaft off and get it all ready. I also ordered a piece of shaft just in case this was bent, but I don't think it is. So that's probably not going to be, I don't know, maybe we'll use it, I don't know. We'll just see how I feel when it all gets here. I don't have any new pieces yet. I just ordered them. So that's just the way it's going to be. And I got to recall how this all goes, because to get it apart, it's going to be a multi-step adventure. See, some of the places have these bearings. I got 2 new ones of those too. There's one on each outside of each wheel. So I'm going to make that happen. And We just got to start stripping parts down. So I'm guessing an Allen headed thing is in my future as one of the first things. And strangely enough, it looks almost to me like that's two different size ones, which can only mean that that is probably one of them is stripped out, and it'll only mean that I'll probably be cutting that off, and I don't think I got that piece. So sure, you know, why would it go any different? Yeah. Then I guess the next step would be to take that loose in there so we can get it out of that coupler, and then we'll just have to start doing whatever we can get to. We should take that flange bearing off of there on each side, and then probably put the bolts back in so nothing sad happens. You know, I'm not really sure how this is made, to be honest with you. The more I look at it, the more it confounds me. But I can only assume, never having had this apart, that this piece here has an edge that rides on it. And I know there's a bushing in there, and that is the only thing that keeps the wheel assembly on here, because you can see how it is on the back side. It's like flush with this. So it's an interesting situation. I'm sure we'll see that here in a minute. I could take it apart and look just to see how it is, but I'm assuming that's how it's made. I don't know. I've never had that one apart before. But this, I have had that off because I had to get that on there. And quite honestly, right now, I don't remember how I did that, but I know I did. So I know I've had this loose before, so it has to come off of there. So also, we'll have to get the wheel chain loose at some point. There's the connecting link, so that's handy. There's just a lot of stuff and things that need to happen to make this go. All right, well, I think we're gonna, no, don't do that. Clean is what I was getting at, so that perhaps it slides easier later. That was some of Professor Fard Pounder's magic elixir. We'll see if that does us any good. Also, I noticed that the GoPro, which you can't see because I will have changed it in editing, but it flips the picture upside down somehow. I guess it's thinking that it's keeping it right side up for you, but I'm very confused. Is that the size of either of these? That's the one that concerns me. I'm afraid that it's Fard pounded its last. That seems like that would fit that. Oh, happy day. That other one isn't tight. So that would probably be a good excuse to change that out. You know, the collar's good, it's just the set screw of sadness. We don't want, you know what I'm saying. Well, that was step one of sadness that I didn't think we would accomplish. So we're already ahead of schedule, which can only mean that something super bad is about to take place. Now, that's not the one I want. I'm gonna get the, that's not, come on now, pliers. Or not pliers, screwdriver. Technical difficulties. Well, I guess we'll just use that one because I can't get the screwdriver apart. I'm sure that all that stuff is not going to slide over the hex, and that's got me kind of worried. Okay, Now, there's a bushing washer, which looks very goodish. Here's this, which is slightly wore, but not to the point of not being usable. This thrower needs to come off of there, basically, just by getting that cotter pin out of it. But it's not gonna go easy, don't worry. We're gonna struggle, you know. I want to make sure all this stuff slides on this shaft before we even bother with the next step. But it ain't cooperating, so I guess I'm gonna have to get more tools. Well, hold on to your hard pounders here, cause there we go. The red pliers is coming for you. Most guys are the one on top of that, but not me. Come on. Now, why am I taking this apart now? Well, you see, I figured that if it was sitting here ready to go back together, when the parts show up, all will be right with the world. Ooh, ooh, that is wore out, bad. Let me get this thrower out. Come on. Yeah, you got hit on that one. You would think with as much oil that leaked out of that cylinder that this clutch would be in excellent shape. Yeah. Yeah, boys, that was wore out worse than I thought it was. And it wore into the new thing because of it. So it's a good thing I ordered all the pieces, because something ain't right in Denmark there. That's weird. Now, is this chain loose enough that I could just go ahead and pop the connector link off, because it's right here? And we'll worry about tensioning later when we do the thing. You know, the thing. Come on. I guess it's under too much tension to play nice. If I didn't want this to come apart, it would fly apart in 5 minutes. But you know how it goes. Come on. Are we there yet? There. Alright, wheel chain, delete. Now we'll forget about that and end up running over and winding it up into a bunch of pieces. That's how we roll. I think I've replaced these in recent times, I think. Yeah, they feel pretty good. Very little side plate. This is good news, good news. Everything is sliding, which I was worried about. See, there you can see there was grease in there, so it does look kind of dry here though, like it, I don't know what's going on. I'm sure I greased it before I used it last year, but I must have. I know it was wore partially before because it wore out this thrower, and then I just threw it on and used it. But maybe I forgot that it was wore worse than I thought, and I figured I'd fix it later, but later never came? Question mark? I don't know. Look at that. Did that wear? That's the next question. Let's scrape off some of this. It wore into those bolt heads. And my next question is, why for did it do that thing? Is it really that close? Or was there supposed to be some type of spacer there. Well, it doesn't look like it. It looks like an appropriate amount of space in there. I bet though, well, I don't know that for sure. I bet I should have bought this other piece. I don't know if I did or not. If I bought this piece that this rides on, it was $100. And I think I should have bought it. But that was me not knowing how much stuff I actually needed. Boy, that's a bummer, friends. All right, well, I about knocked you down, but that's okay. I do stuff like that. Our next affair, let's take these bearings loose. Flangette bearings, as they are called, so that they slide, because we're gonna have to pull the whole shaft out the end. So I'm sure I had this apart, but somehow I missed the chat on. I really need to put that, well, that's okay. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Come on now. Come on. Oh. Uh-oh. Oh, okay. I thought you froze up there for a minute, but I think you're still moving. Now, will this slide on here? Will this slide on here? That actually doesn't feel bad. I'm going to put new ones on just because I'm going to have them. But let's have a peek in here. Let's see how the turnips are made there. Okay. So that is how it's made. My next question is that just made to ride directly on there, and that other thing is just a spacer washer? I don't know. I'm not going to ask questions. I'm just going to put that back in and ignore it, because it can't hurt you if you just pretend it's okay. We're moving along, and that's all that matters. Now I lost it. Okay. I don't know where this giant washer came from that's on the ground, but I'm going to assume that it fell off of, like here, off of the thrower arm. We're going to assume that's what it was. I don't remember. I'm bummed, though, that what an idiot. I know, why did I not buy that piece, too? I thought, well, that piece won't be wore out. But it shows how much I know. I mean, it's covered with old grease. It just didn't get it in the right place. Whatever. All right. We got to move down the line to do the other one. All right, well, so far, this is working better than I thought. So, sadness will come, I'm sure. There. You're not really mounted very good to anything, but we're gonna give her a go and see if this, will that fit that? Yes, it will. Probably make more sense to do that side. And then hold this one out here. Or not. Of course. We knew that was coming. Red pliers. Red pliers. Come on out of there, baby doll. Well, now it's the moment of truth. Let's slide out of there. I think it's gonna. Oh no. Uh-oh. That's a math problem I don't like. I don't remember that happening before. I'm also thinking that maybe this does have a slight bow in it. Oh, does it go barely under there? It might barely go under there if you go down to that end. See, we took all the, essentially, it's got a lot of weight hanging on this end. I'm sure that goes out of there. Yeah. As I was gonna say, I had this out once before. Come on. Oh, we're getting, okay. Pieces are falling. All right, well, it's apart, which means it's ready to go back together. However, I messed up. I had this in my cart and I should have went ahead and bought it. I thought from the outside that it looked okay, but I couldn't see because that was caked up with grease. That's very wore. Not that that's as big a issue there as I'm worried about the amount of, and I can't do it one-handed. Like there's a little bit of side to side in there, which I'm sure was there before I had it, because I didn't put enough acres on to do that. That's, yeah, that's weird that it wore in that way too. So what obviously happened was sometime last year, while we were happily planting along, this must have dropped down and I didn't realize it. And it was the groove. This, get out of there, washer. Yeah, look at how it, man, that sucks. Not only did it ruin this piece now, but that's what it did. This holder got cattywampused in there somehow while we were using it, and it just cooked all that stuff. It wore into there. It probably was fine till it ate the grease out of that side. You can see it has grease at the bottom, but that top part was doing some grinding and got hot. And when you're planting, as long as everything's turning, you don't pay attention, you know. I know I look back at those sometimes and make sure they go together and close, but somehow I didn't catch that. So I don't know that that's my fault. It's my fault, I guess, for not stopping and checking and whatever, but I'm pretty sure the times I looked at it, everything was going great. So, but this was not new, you know. It was all used stuff, and I bet you that one's going to do the same thing at some point. But we're not even going to look at that one. We're going to focus on this one. And we're going to go back in the house now, and we're going to order the one piece we didn't get, because I might as well put it all on new. At this point, what's another $100, you know? And the same way with this shaft. If I think this shaft is no good, you know, there goes a bearing. Let's just pull this out of there. Can we lay this across there? I don't know, straight edge maybe. Probably when the new shaft comes, I'll lay one on top of the other and see. But I just feel like right in here, it's ever so slightly bowed. And you'll never see that on the GoPro because the GoPro distorts everything. But I noticed that when I was looking at it yesterday, trying to figure out what was what. I thought that it had a slight arch in it out here where it wasn't quite doing the thing. So I don't know, but I got everything new coming with the exception of that one piece, and it's going to be coming here in a minute because we got to have it. So You know, if worse comes to worse, yeah, we could probably slap it together and use that, but I hate to ruin something new because of not wanting to reuse, you know what I'm saying. This, I think, was $165, this gear, or sprocket with the teeth on it for the clutch. That was $100. These were each like, one was, I think one was $58 and one was, basically they're 50 bucks a piece. I don't know what those are. The washers are probably like $17 a piece. This, I want to say, was like $85 maybe. So like in my cart, I had like $600 worth of parts, and I didn't order that to save money, and that was stupid. Stupid! Because now I'll get to pay the shipping for one piece. But that's okay. I've done dumb things before. Oh, those flange bearings were like $35 a piece or whatever, 31, I don't know. So they're $70 in just two little things. And again, I probably wouldn't have needed them based on how they are, but if we're doing this major of a thing, I think it's probably time to go ahead and do that. We'll keep that stuff for spares. If there's an emergency where we're planting and something totally goes out, then we can quickly swap, you know, and get finished. But I don't know. You never know what the right thing is to do, and you can just keep firing the parts cannon at it till you're broke, but that doesn't always, that's not always the solution, you know. It's a balance of what's the appropriate amount to do and what's not. And that's just weird that that clutch did not do that where I could see it until here at the last minute. Like, I didn't even know anytime we were planting that that was not right. So it must have, when it was together and not lining up on the high side, it was able to fall down and I didn't catch it. And then when I bring it up, it must have been aligning itself good enough that it didn't look like it did now. Because I definitely noticed this time that it was way out of whack. So I don't know. It's just one of those things, but it needs to be done. But I think we're going to leave this one here. This may not be a very long, interesting video, but I want to do this, and then I also we want to take it up and wash it off before we start. Clean off some of this grime that's accumulated. I really need to take this shield off the bottom. That's a dumb design. I like the guard they made for the transmission, but they made it in such a way that it holds dirt, and a lot of dirt, and it fills up fast. Like, I've cleaned it out, and then by the end of the day it's level full again and the gears are cutting into dirt. So we got to stop that. What I'd like to do sometime is take that off and cut the bottom out of it and then weld in some expanded metal or something so that it has holes that stuff can fall out of. But I don't know if we'll get to that before planting. We'll just do what we got to do. We're in go mode now. We need to finish. Yeah, we need to do everything, do the things. We need to vacuum out some of those boxes. I guess I forgot to wipe all the seed down out of the top. I took the stuff loose and that wasn't enough, and I don't know. We need to just double check and make sure it's clean. Also, I'm thinking about power washing the inside of the box there, because I use that inoculant that's like a graphite coated stuff, and it's left quite a layer inside all these boxes that I don't really care for. So we'll give it a really good cleaning here before we go out and try to attempt anything. But I'm going to call this one here, and I'll bring you back when we got more stuff that we can put together. Boy, that doesn't look very good. Maybe I'll order an air hose. And yeah, as always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. After watching what you just saw, do you feel like your IQ has dropped lower than your credit score? Well, there's no reason that both of us should be miserable, so go ahead and hit that thumbs up and leave a comment. That stuff costs you nothing, and it really helps me out. Your banker may not approve, but I know mine will. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.